Have you been searching on Google Patents for at least 30 minutes trying to find out if your invention is new? If so, this is a video that can be very helpful to you. It can teach you 12 tools that you can use to help take your search and have it really turn a corner. If you haven't gotten to the point where you've searched for 30 minutes, I want you to go back and look at some of my other videos, subscribe to the channel, and find some videos on basic searching. The reason you don't want to go forward at this point is that the tools that I'm about to show you are context specific. Once you have a reference that is in the niche that you really want to be searching in, it's really close to the invention you're looking for, that opens up these other tools as an opportunity. And now, if you have reached that point, join me and let's take a look and see what we can do to really turn the corner on your searching. I'm going to start each of these tools from an individual reference view, which is this one. The very first thing that you want to do is Google Patents has already produced for almost all of the at least patent references a list of similar documents. So you want to scroll down past all of the details of the patent. And once you've passed that up, you're going to come to a list of similar documents. And basically what you want to do is run through and read the titles on every single one of these. And as soon as you find one that looks like it's particularly relevant, click on the link that's next to it. It's just that simple. It is a really quick way to find a really valuable reference, presuming that you've already started with a reference that is really valuable. If you start with a reference that isn't very valuable, as with the case with almost every one of these tools, you're going to end up with a list of documents that isn't very valuable. Tool number 2 is the similar button. If you're at the top of a particular reference, go scroll over here. It says similar and there's a sigma sign right there. If you just click on that, Google Patents is going to do a search. You're not going to have the exact same results as if you go down and look at the pre-made list of similar documents, but this is going to be something that is very similar. It's a list that Google searches on the fly using an algorithm that I don't know how they put the algorithm together, but it is useful. It's another way to find other documents that are very similar to the one that you found. So take advantage of that. Tool number 3 is the Find Prior Art button. If you're back up at the top of the patent document, click on the button. It just says Find Prior Art. One thing that is important to know about this is that up here in the search, it is a date-sensitive search. So you're going to see that there's a bunch of terms that come from the patent or patent application that you're searching from. And then it's going to have a priority date limiter. What that's going to do is it's going to search priority dates that are before the reference. If you're just doing a novelty search, you're probably not interested in that being before the priority date. What you can do is delete that priority date limitation and do the search again. That's going to give an opportunity for you to see references that are both before and after the priority date of the reference that you're looking from. That in a novelty search context is probably going to be a lot more useful to you. Tool number 4 is really 2 tools. It's called backward searching, and there's 2 different areas that you can find this information on Google Patents. If you go over into the document information box, scroll down under info, you're going to see a link to patent citations. It's going to take you to a spot lower in the page, but that skips over all the regular document information. Patent citations and the non-patent literature citations that are below come from patent examination. And once the examiner is looking at the application that turned into this patent, the examiner is trying to find very close things, just like you're trying to find very close things. And listed under patent citations and the non-patent literature citations are the things that the examiner found and found to be relevant. So what you can do is go through, look at the titles, and click on the document numbers and go into those documents and see if the relevant information in those documents is relevant to you. Does it match your invention? Same thing in the non-patent literature, although in general here you're going to have to go out and find those documents. But if you find something that looks like it is highly relevant, it's worth taking that information that the examiner already considered and take advantage of it. Go find it on the internet. Go find that book if you really want to get aggressive about it. But these are things that the examiner found relevant when looking at that particular document. Put that into your search and take advantage of it as well. Just like there's something called backward searching, there's also something called forward searching. What you want to do to forward search is scroll down here and click on cited by. And in this case, it's going to give you 3 different references. The number of references is different over and over and over again. It just depends on what document you're looking at. And to understand what's going on here, this does not come from the examination of the application that led to this patent. This is examination by other examiners who, when they were examining another application, looked back and found this patent document to be relevant. So if you see something on one of these titles and it looks like something that is relevant to your search, go over here and click on the link to take you to that document. The number 6 tool you can use is classification searching in Google Patents. What you would do is scroll down below the images and there's a section called classifications. If you hover over this, which is the classification of this particular document, what you're going to get is a listing of several different classifications that this document falls into, and it's hierarchical. So if you look, physics is going to be extremely broad, and your goal in doing this is to find a classification that matches your particular invention. So you want to go narrower and narrower, but you want to stop before you get to stuff that is not relevant to your invention. So if you go all the way to the bottom, this may be extremely narrow and relating to the invention that this document is associated with. If it doesn't match your invention, you want to go up until you find the narrowest classification that does. What you then do is click on that. It's going to give you a classification number right there. If you copy that, then you can go back up to the top and paste in that classification. If you do a search on that classification, you're then searching a niche that your invention is probably in. These classifications are classified by the USPTO and the European Patent Office, and they are designed to identify particular niches. So you don't have to be an expert on classification to know that if you've reached the right document, there's a good chance you're in the right niche. Use that. This may be a really complicated code to you, but what it's code for is the niche that that document came out of. Go search that niche and find out, are there other documents that are highly relevant and more relevant than the document that you came from? That's another way to improve upon the prior art that you found and find better documents. Tool number 7 is a company search. If you go into the document view again, you'll see current assignee. Here it says Raytheon. Raytheon in this case is the company that owns the invention. So what you want to do is make a copy of the assignee, Raytheon, and in this case we have an invention relating to laser, so you may just say laser, click search, and then if you don't already have the side search bar, you would click on this pencil to get the side search bar. Scroll down until you see assignee. So you're already searching for laser. What you want to do is paste in to the assignee space, and then all of a sudden you have Raytheon. If you press tab, Now you have a combination search where you're searching for laser and the assignee Raytheon. And the reason you want to do this is that if a company is innovating in the particular area that you're interested in, it's a good bet that they have more than one patent in that area, particularly if it's a big company. The bigger the company, the more likely this is to happen. That's another place where you can look for valuable documents. Tool number 8 is look into the family tree for a patent. Patents are a little bit like families. They have parents and children. This may sound odd to you, but in the patent process, sometimes people will put an invention up for examination and then come up with something slightly different but related and then file another related application. So in essence, that patent can have a child. What you would do to find that is scroll down here and look for priority and related applications. Again, all these links here are going to take you to just a different place in the same page. But once you see that, you can see that there are multiple related applications. Click on that application. Sometimes the applications are nearly identical or identical in content you'd find in the document, but it's another opportunity to find related information. And when you're looking for things that are very similar and potentially more relevant, sometimes you can't get any more similar and more relevant than the family members from a patent family. You always want to remember that as you're using these techniques, you're going to keep getting closer and closer to finding the closest reference. If that's something that is an exact match for your invention, then at least you know that you've potentially saved some money and you don't want to get a patent on something that's already patented. That would not be successful anyway. But as you find these references, if you haven't found an exact match, remember that you want to keep searching for the differences. The differences between what you invented and what was already disclosed in these other documents are what's truly important. That is the essence of what you've invented. So keep searching, keep focusing on the differences, and maybe you're learning something and revising and making your invention better as you keep searching and finding things. Ultimately, if you're going to the patent office, you want to bring the very best version of your invention to the patent office. Tool number 10 is really one of the simplest to understand. If you have an inventor that came up with something that's highly relevant to what you're doing, you want to find out if that inventor has come up with anything else that is highly relevant to what you're doing. Particularly if this is a person who is highly focused on a particular area. Sometimes this happens in big companies or just from an individual inventor who is really dedicated to a particular craft. Here you just click on the inventor's name and it takes you to a page and lists the other patents that that inventor has. Tool number 11 is an assignee search. If you scroll down here, you can look and it says USPTO assignment. What that's going to do is take you to an external page. It's the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and that is going to show you the company that the patent was assigned to. If you click on that company, all of a sudden you're going to get a lot of other assignments that relate to that company. Raytheon is a big company and there's a lot of relevant things, but what you can do is look through and find individual patent numbers, their properties. Here's a publication associated with Raytheon. Scroll down, more publications. There could be patent numbers in there. This is where you're going to find a lot of other things when the company does transactions involving intellectual property, particularly patents. That's what's going to show up here, and this is a way that you can easily go and find out what those companies that are potentially relevant are up to. Tool number 12 is something simple as concepts that got pulled out of the patent application by Google. And if you go and scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you're going to get what Google has identified as the machine extracted concepts. What you want to do to improve your search is to look at the terms that you were already searching and see if you got all of those terms. Is there something in that list of machine extracted terms from this relevant patent that you haven't been including in your search? If you do find something, that's a way that you can improve upon your searching. Take advantage of it. I hope you enjoyed these 12 tips. If you did, like and subscribe to the videos.